And that's the thing to really think about. What gives you energy? What refills your cup when it comes to having the energy to perform at your best? Hi, and welcome to Helping You Perform. I'm your host, Paul Teasdale. Over a career working with high-performing teams from across the globe, including 7 years working with Formula One team McLaren, I've learned a lot about what it takes to drive results. In this weekly podcast series, I'm going to be bringing you tips, tricks and insights from the world of Formula One that you can apply to your organisation for your high performance. Enjoy. Hi, and welcome to another episode of the Helping You Perform podcast series. I hope you enjoyed episode 17, which was the last episode where I talked about understanding purpose on purpose. Now, if you haven't had a chance to listen to that, I highly recommend you go back and have a listen. It's really important to connect in with your purpose, your team's purpose, your organization's purpose, and understand what that means to you and your team and your organization, and how that can help you benefit and perform better. So in this week's episode, I want to take on the topic of rest. I've just come back from about 10 days away on the road, a bit of a road trip around Europe, covering France, Switzerland, Germany, Switzerland again, Germany through to Luxembourg, through Belgium and France and back to the UK, with the kids in the car, lots of stuff going on, but ultimately enjoying myself and having some downtime and the ability to connect with those around me. And that's really got me thinking about the importance of rest and the importance of that downtime in your own performance. Because it's only when you start to switch off and think about those different things that you're not necessarily thinking about on a day-to-day basis that you really get the opportunity to step back and think about where you are in the world, where you are with the piece of work that's in front of you, or the things that are ahead of you, those potential things that are coming up, and to really give them some context. Because when you're stuck in that moment, it's very difficult to really think it through and to give it the time required and the space required to give it full attention. And actually switching off counterintuitively, stopping thinking about things, can really help you rethink about things in a different way. And the importance of rest and recovery and downtime in that process can't be underestimated. There's a reason we sleep. It clears the brain, it clears all those things out of our system so that we are ready to go again the next day. And that can be exactly the same for your month, your year, your 5-year plan, whatever that might be in front of you. There's an interesting story about the efforts that went into making sure that the team at McLaren, where I was working, were getting the right rest. Because if you think about a race team, they're going around the world. They've got 20 odd races in the year. They're covering Australia, Malaysia, Brazil, Mexico. They're going from place to place, often with sort of back-to-back or very quick turnarounds. And it's high pressure, high intensity. And then you bring in the jet lag element of it as well. And so effort and real effort was put into understanding what's the best way of recovering and making sure that you are at your best. And it really came down to that personal element of how do I get the rest that I need? What's my personal state right now? And how do I get that energy back? How much sleep do I need? What should I do in terms of exercise, nutrition? Everything that is in my power that has an effect on how I can perform in future. They even went so far as to trying to develop an app around jet lag, but I don't think it ever got anywhere. But it was a really good idea in terms of making sure that you could measure where you were in terms of your own rhythms and rates, and then where you were going to be at the end of your journey. And so it would actually, the thinking was it would give you that view of what rest do you need and when, in order to be potentially at your best going forward. Now, I want you to think about this for yourselves, and I want you to really spend a few good quality minutes thinking about how am I getting the downtime that I need to be at my best. Because I know on reflection over the last 10 days, I haven't been getting the right downtime, I haven't been getting the right rest in order to perform at my best on the day to day. And it's only that downtime that gives you the sort of space and the headspace to start to think about, what could I be doing differently? Where am I getting the right exercise, the right nutrition, the right time for me, the right quality time with my family, so that it's giving me the energy I need to perform. And that's the thing to really think about. What gives you energy? What refills your cup when it comes to having the energy to perform at your best? And that is a really personal thing. For some people, it's about exercise. For some people, it's about spending time alone, reading, being in the garden, being in the outdoors. For some reason, people, it's about team sports. It's about being with people and socializing. And this is the sort of introvert, extrovert element as to where do you get your energy from? And think about that in terms of not just a productive element, but a necessary element for productivity. It can often feel as if when you're resting, you're taking that time out, that you are not being productive. And I was speaking to a good friend of mine who is an Ironman athlete, and she was saying about the importance, and one of the things that she got into Ironman late in her career, and the thing that she found really difficult going from a corporate environment to a sporting personal performance environment was the fact that rest was a productive thing to do. And if you can get your head around that and think about actually rest and sleep and recovery is just as important as the performance itself, because it helps you to perform better on the next day, the next week, the next month, whatever it might be. So that's my challenge for you this week, is to go off and think about, are you getting the right amount of rest and downtime to help you perform? And what can you do differently about it? And maybe just try one thing, run an experiment. Maybe it's about going to bed slightly earlier. Maybe it's about what you do before you go to bed. Are you on your phone? When are you having your dinner? Do you have that earlier or later? All those sorts of things can have an impact. And it's amazing the changes that can be made. I was listening to a podcast the other day, and they were telling a story about a top athlete who was really struggling with sleep. And their phone was, when they were challenged, their phone was always next to their bed. They said, run a little experiment. Just move that phone still in your same bedroom, but move it to the other side of the room so it's not right next to you. And almost immediately they were getting more sleep and better quality sleep as well. So what's that thing that you can try that gives you back the energy you need to perform? You won't regret it. It might seem counterintuitive, but it is a productive thing to do. And as always, if you want to get in touch with me and think about what this means to you, you want to question some of the experiences that I've had in the Formula One world, or those things that have helped others perform as I've applied them from different environments, please do get in touch. Visit the website at paulteasdale.co.uk and drop me a line. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear what sort of top topics and themes you'd like me to cover off in future episodes. So I look forward to hearing from you in the meantime, and I look forward to speaking to you in the next episode. Cheers. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Helping You Perform podcast. If you found value in this episode, please take a moment to like, share, or review the podcast. You can reach out to me at any time, either through LinkedIn or through my website at www.paulteasdale.co.uk. I look forward to speaking to you in the next episode.